Good afternoon. Welcome to the Occupational Therapy webinar at Hofstra University. My name is Dr. Joy Acciani. I'm the Program Director for the Masters of Science in OT program. This webinar will consist of a PowerPoint presentation where I'll be talking to you a little bit about what occupational therapy is, and then a little bit about the job outlook for occupational therapy. And then we'll take a look at the OT program here at Hofstra. At the end, we'll have some time for question and answers. So what is occupational therapy? Occupational therapy is a healthcare profession that works with people, as we say, from the womb to the tomb. We help people across the lifespan participate in the things that they want to do and the things that they need to do. And those things are called occupations. As an example, we help children with disabilities participate in school and in social situations. Occupational therapists help people recover from injury, to regain the skills that they have lost. Occupational therapists provide support for older adults experiencing cognitive changes. Those are just a few examples of what occupational therapy does. The job outlook for occupational therapy is pretty good. As of 2017, the occupational therapy workforce is approximately 126,000 practitioners with the median pay of $83,000 a year. And that is of April 2018. The good news for students coming out of an occupational therapy program is that the employment of OTs is projected to grow 24% from 2016 to 2026. That is a much faster growth rate than average for all other professions. Occupational therapy was rated number 9 in best healthcare jobs and number 11 in 100 best jobs by U.S. News and World Report, and that was as of January 2018. Glassdoor voted occupational therapy as number 4 in the 50 best jobs in America. Almost 40% of new graduates receive a job after 1 month after graduation, with nearly 84% of those new grads receiving their first job offer after less than 3 months. That's pretty good. Just briefly, some of the practice areas that occupational therapists typically work at, including skilled nursing facilities, hospitals, home health, freestanding outpatient facilities, early intervention, community, and academia. Now I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the Hofstra Occupational Therapy Program. So here's a great picture of one of our classes in our occupational therapy lab. We have some suspended equipment you can see in the lab. The students are really enjoying their time with one of their professors. The Hofstra program is fully accredited by the American Council for Occupational Therapy Education. Our average class size is 31 students. We have a beautiful, safe campus here in Hempstead. We have strong clinical affiliations, and our faculty are really exceptionally dedicated. Here's a slide with the names of our faculty members. We have an academic fieldwork coordinator and an assistant academic fieldwork coordinator. And what that means to students is that there's a lot of attention paid, a lot of individual attention paid to the student regarding every placement in the field. To apply to the program, we use the OT Centralized Application Service, referred to as OTCAS. The link to OTCAS is on this slide. The deadline for submission and for verification is February 1st for the subsequent September. So in this case, it would be February 1st, 2019. The admissions requirements include 3 letters of recommendation. We really like it when some of those letters include a letter from a licensed occupational therapist. You must have a baccalaureate degree from an accredited college with a minimum grade point average of 3.0. We want you to write and upload a personal essay. And in that essay, you're going to identify your areas of interest and the reasons that you seek advanced training in occupational therapy. We're looking for the transcript of your prerequisite courses if they were taken outside of your baccalaureate degree. We want you to upload your documentation of your observation hours of occupational therapy related experience. We will call you in for an interview, and we may ask you for an essay once you get here. The prerequisites that we require are Human Anatomy 1 and 2. That would be two 4-credit classes with labs. In place of Human Anatomy 1 and Human Anatomy 2, Human Anatomy and Physiology 1 and Human Anatomy and Physiology 2, we do accept Human Anatomy with a lab, 4 credits, and Human Physiology, 4 credits. Or we can substitute Human Physiology, 4 credits with a lab, for Exercise Physiology, 4 credits with a lab. We want you to have at least one social behavioral science course. An example would be a sociology course, political science course, a course in public health, anthropology. We're asking you to make sure that you take a structural and mechanical kinesiology course that's at least 3 credits. An abnormal psychology course, sometimes goes by the name of psychopathology or psychology of deviance. We're looking for developmental psychology, and that is human development across the lifespan, including theory of development, for 3 credits. If you have a sequence of courses in developmental psychology, we would accept that as well. And lastly, we require you to take here at Hofstra the Orientation to Occupational Therapy course that would be HPR 130. That's offered in an online or hybrid format. We recommend a course in elementary statistics. And while it's not a mandatory prerequisite, it does help the foundational knowledge coming into the program. All prerequisite courses must be completed before matriculation into the occupational therapy program. We do give preference to applicants with a minimum grade point average of 3.0 in your overall grade point average in all coursework, and a cumulative grade point average of 275 in science courses. On your OT application, in the OTCAS system, you need to indicate the courses that you have in progress or that you are planning to complete. Here's a course sequence in the occupational therapy curriculum. You can see that we have year 1, fall, spring, and summer. Going into year 2 is fall and spring, with summer level 2 fieldwork, and then the following fall level 2 fieldwork for a total of 2.5 years and 68 credits. Fieldwork is given in all the 2 fall and 2 spring semesters, and level 2 again is that last summer and fall semester. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our student demographics. We accept 31 students. In both years, I have demographics for 2017 and 2018. 24 students were from New York State. We have New Jersey students coming from Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Maryland. The mean age of our student is between 24 and 22, with age ranging between 21 to 40 years of age. Most of our students are female, and we do have some male students. Last year we had 7, this year we have 1. Okay, I just want to talk to you a little bit about the student life, because that's a nice part of the program. We have a Student Occupational Therapy Association we refer to as SOTA, and SOTA here at Hofstra is funded by the graduate programs. And that's really nice, because that means that SOTA has a nice budget. And with that budget, the students plan events, and they also plan in part to fund some students to attend conferences. Some of the conferences that students have attended are the New York State Occupational Therapy Association conference and the National American Occupational Therapy Association conference. At those conferences, some students do present some of the research that they've been working on with their faculty mentor. So this is, I'm going to show you now some examples of some of the Student Occupational Therapy Association events. So the students gathered one night for Light the Night, which supported the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. There's big presence here on campus for supporting autism and autism awareness. That was an on-campus event. The students also presented in a off-campus event here at Jones Beach this past October to support autism. The students recently walked in the End Alzheimer's Walk. Here you see one of our classes, the class of 2018. This class photo was taken in the occupational therapy lab, which is quite nice. We have an ADL kitchen behind the students. You can't see the bathroom behind the students, and then some mat tables, some suspended equipment. Here's a look at the class of 2020. Here are some students hard at work, enjoying their coursework. Some of the students at the American Occupational Therapy Conference in Philadelphia. They had a really great time. They got really jazzed about the profession and came back really excited. And here's students who participated in an on-campus potluck dinner. So I want to thank you for participating in the webinar this afternoon. I'm able to take questions now. Okay, so here is a question. When are classes offered? We offer out classes during the weekdays, usually mid to late afternoon, Monday through Thursday. Is it possible to work around class times and fieldwork hours? I think to be able to be successful in the program, you have to work as little hours as possible, and your work hours must be flexible to accommodate class time and time in the field during your fieldwork experiences. What makes our program so unique compared to other schools? Well, we give a nice we have a nice curriculum that's 68 credits. Many other programs are somewhat higher, and that means for you here at Hofstra, you're paying less tuition. You're actually graduating earlier. We also have very small class sizes. So while we accept 31 students, our hands-on, our practical courses really are a 1:15 ratio. So we separate the students into different sections, and you get really nice individual housing. Really nice individual attention. Yes, there is student housing, both on and off campus. Here's a question. Do students participate in research? Yes, there is a research component in this curriculum. Typically, students would be paired with a faculty mentor and taken along through the course of a period of about a year where they're developing a research question, developing methodology, hopefully doing a literature review, and hopefully collecting data with the possibility of presenting either in a poster session, a workshop, or a publication. We do encourage that. What are some examples of fieldwork sites? Well, here at Hofstra, we're very lucky. We have a robust selection of fieldwork placement sites. We have strong connection and affiliation with Northwell Health Systems. So we have placed students in their inpatient, outpatient, and home settings. We have affiliations with many school districts in and around Long Island in the boroughs. We have a number of out-of-state placements, particularly in the states where our students come from. You can find that information out in the demographic slide. Is our application process rolling? Well, yes, it is. So the application portal opened in July, and it will close February 1st. Here's a question about HPR 130, Orientation to Occupational Therapy. The question is, when would you take this course? Yes, you would take this course. The course is offered in the fall and in the spring semesters. It is also offered in the summer. Many of our students wait to take the course until they're accepted to the program, and then they would take this course in the summer prior to the September start. Here's a question. My school does not offer kinesiology. Would you accept a physics class? We really are looking for structural and mechanical kinesiology. If you have a question about kinesiology, feel free to send a course description, and we could more thoroughly evaluate and give you a better answer. Do we accept early applications? And do we start the interview process after February 1st? Is priority acceptance given to those applying early? So we start looking at applications as soon as they come in and as they are verified. We hope to have our first group of interviews late December and into January, with some later interviews happening in February. Is there a minimum number of observation hours required? And in what format should they be submitted? So the answer is, while we do not state a minimum number of observation hours, what we are looking for is to see if the applicant has a well-rounded experience in a variety of settings. So that is to say, someone who comes in with 100 hours in one pediatric setting versus someone who's coming in with 50 hours in 3 different settings. We like the last scenario better. So that is to say that this candidate has had experience as to what OT does and looks like in different practice settings. Here's a question asking for clarification. Just to clarify, you do not need to complete HPR 130 before applying. That is correct. You do not need to complete HPR 130 before applying. You would need to complete it before you started the program in September, and that goes for any other prerequisite course. Just indicate on your application that you are planning to take the course. Okay, here's another question asking for clarification regarding documentation of observation hours. Hofstra does not have a specific form that we're using. Rather, we would like the form on letterhead from the facility and signed off by the licensed occupational therapist that you have been observing or shadowing. Around how many applications do you get? Okay, so we receive roughly between 300 and 400 applications in the application period. Okay, so I want to thank you all for participating today. I thank you for your interest in Hofstra's Occupational Therapy program. Wait, I have one more question. Are all interviews on site? Most interviews are on site. Sometimes we make accommodations for students who may live out of state or go, attending a program that is out of state. We do that on an individual basis, and you would just really ask for that. How early in the schooling does fieldwork placement occur? So first semester, first year in the fall is your first level 1, right out of the gate. First year, second semester is your second level 1 placement in a physical disability environment. Year 2 in the fall, this is your third full-time semester. You're placed in a pediatric level 1 facility, and year 2 in the spring, that's your final didactic semester, students are placed for level 1 in a community setting. At that point, all coursework is done and completed, and now the student is ready for their 2 level 2 fieldwork experiences. So a question, when trying to indicate you're planning to take a prerequisite, Do you indicate I am not matching courses to this prerequisite? I would tell you, please call the OTCAS customer service for more information on how to specifically document your planned courses. All right, thank you very much for attending today. Thank you for your interest in Hofstra's Occupational Therapy Program, and please feel free to contact me. My contact information is posted on the slide.